Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. I'm gonna talk to you today. It's gonna be a quick video talking about gangs. I'm not gonna go into the history of these gangs. You know, some of them may have started, like if you learn the history of like Bloods and Crips or whatever, they may have started as like community organizations. But whenever sin got in the midst, whether their intentions were originally good or not, they turned into murderers, thieves, covetous, some even rapists. So I'm gonna show you this prophecy in the scriptures, and we're gonna get into it. The book of Proverbs, the 1st chapter and the 10th verse. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood, let us lurk privily for the innocent without a cause. That's what they be like. They say, oh, we just gonna wait in the alley here, we're gonna wait till somebody come by and we're gonna jump them, we're gonna take what they got, right? Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance, we shall fill our houses with spoil. They said, we're gonna hit a lick. Cast in thy lot among us, let us all have one purse. He said, whatever you get, we're gonna throw it in with the lot, we're gonna throw it in with the group, and then we're gonna split it. My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. Right? Because a lot of our people is in a situation where that's the best, they think that's the best thing that they can do, is join whatever gang runs their block. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. And they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. Right? What they do will be their own destruction. God said, don't go with them. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Everybody who's covetous, everybody who's greedy, this is what their end is. And I'm going to jump down to verse 31. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. You see that right there? So they're going to be killed by their own killings. See, that's why a gang may be banging on some other block, right? And then what happens? That block retaliates, and then back and forth till everybody dies. That's the end of it. You're going to end up dead. I'm going to get this here in 1 John 2 and verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Right? Because what do you hear in the world? Gang, gang, gang. Everybody wants to be part of a gang now. Everybody wants to claim gang. Everybody want to rep a gang. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Don't love the things that everybody else loves, because that means you don't love God. God don't love you. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. All this Gucci and Versace and whatever people do with all that kind of stuff, all that kind of clothing, all that, the nicest cars, the Bugattis and all that kind of stuff. Just, it's of the world. It's not of God. And the world passes away. All that stuff's going to be gone. Don't go with it and the lust thereof. But he that doth the will of God abideth forever. If you keep the commandments, you're going to live forever. And from here, we're going to go into, this is something that a lot of people misconstrue. This is one of the most misconstrued things in the whole Bible. It's a funny story if you don't actually realize what's going on. This is the book of 2 Kings 2 and verse 23. And he went up from thence unto Bethel. And as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city and mocked him and said unto him, go up thou bald head, go up thou bald head. So, we read little children, we think these are like toddlers. But if you read the scriptures, you're a child until you get like 20 years old. So when they say little children, it's talking about preteens and teens. That's what it's talking about. And listen to this. And he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood and tare 42 children of them. So you read this up here, your mind immediately goes to where it says there came forth little children out of the city and mocked him. Your mind immediately goes to, oh, there's like 5, 6 kids was mocking him, whatever. It said 42. And then it didn't even say that was all of them. It says 2 bears came and killed 42 of them. So this is a gang of teenagers, preteens, harassing the prophet. And so he called bears out of the woods and took out 42 of them. Which means it was most likely 50 plus of these teenagers and preteens harassing the prophet. So yeah, he called the bears and killed them. And he went from thence to Mount Carmel, and from thence he returned to Samaria. So I just wanted to clarify this story right here of how this was a gang harassing a prophet. And so he called bears from the Lord to kill them. It didn't even get all of them, but it did get 42 of them. All right, so this is the book of Isaiah 3. Now I'm going to start with verse 4. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. So this is the world that we live in today. These gangs filled with teenagers is what's running our streets. And the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. Right, they'll jump and rob from old people. They don't care. When a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, saying, Thou hast clothing, be thou our ruler. So they say, just because you got a particular color on, that they'll listen to you. Right? You got the red on, you got the blue on, you got the purple. And let this ruin be under thy hand. In that day shall he swear, saying, I will not be a healer, for in my house is neither bread nor clothing. Make me not a ruler of the people. Right? And these older men, they're willing to just sit back and let this happen. For Jerusalem is ruined, and Judah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against the Lord, to provoke the eyes of his glory. The show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom. Right? They be like, gang, 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 gang. And they throw up the signs and all that kind of stuff. They're declaring their sin like the Sodomites do. They hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. God said destruction to their own soul. They're bringing evil upon themselves. Say ye to the righteous that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. And that's what it all goes back to. That's what Proverbs was saying. That these wicked gonna eat the fruit of their doings, and the righteous gonna abide forever, like what we read in 1 John 2. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given him. Right? Because you go bang on somebody, they're going to come bang on you, back and forth, until both y'all dead. Verse 12, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. You let the women rule you, you let the teenagers run the streets. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. And see, that's the only thing that can happen. If you a man, you're supposed to be the leader. You're supposed to be a righteous man of God. But instead, you let the children and the women run you. The Lord standeth up to plead, and standeth to judge the people. So the Lord's judging the people because of this right here. Because of the gangs running the streets. So, with that, I'm going to close it out with here in Romans 13 to give a solution. Owe no man anything but to love one another. That's the solution, is love. And we're going to see what that actually means. For he that loveth one another hath fulfilled the law. So if you love one another, you're going to fulfill God's laws. For this, thou shalt not commit adultery. So that's one thing, making marriages last. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. So it's like being on trial and you won't tell the truth because you know that you're a part of the gang too. You can't bear false witness. So if you put on trial, you got to tell the truth. We hate to hear that thing. That's what they say, don't snitch. God said, yes, snitch. Don't kill, don't steal, don't run with these gangs. Thou shalt not covet. That's why we read about the things of the world. Don't follow the things of the world. And if there be any other commandment is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Don't do anything to anybody you wouldn't want done to you. Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. You got to keep God's laws. With that, happy Feast of Tabernacles and Shalom. Most High in Christ bless.